alive! It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
Hello and welcome to Alive After Reading. I'm Tim Niederreiter, and today with us we have a special guest. Welcome to the show, Caramel Lucas. Caramel Lucas? Jeez, I should have asked. How do you say that? How do you prefer that name to be said? Yeah.
Well, it's just like the candy Caramel Lucas.
Okay, caramel.
You know?
Okay.
Yeah,
that's kind of what I figured. I guess it's just my Midwesterner that we say like caramel a lot. Like there's no, like we miss one of the syllables. So it got me confused with the candy.
That's okay because, I answer to it all. So it doesn't matter what you call me as long as you don't call me a name that I don't like,
Yeah, no
so
problem there. Yeah.
It's great. It's great. No problem.
Most people just call me Hey You anyway. So, I mean, I get used to that.
Right?
I think most of us do.
Get over here. Exactly. Yeah. Well, thank you for letting me be on your podcast. This is awesome. I love it,
Well, you're welcome. It's just, shooting the shit. And so tell people a little bit about yourself and what you do, basically.
Oh, awesome. Well, again, my name is Cameron Lucas, and I am a podcaster as well. I also am a motivation speaker. I am a stand-up comic. I am a creative writer. I do poetry. I'm an author as well. And I model, and I am an actress.
Okay, so everything, basically, all the creative stuff.
You know what? I'm a type of person that I can't sit down, right? So that meaning is that I have to go to the next thing, No,
it makes perfect sense, yeah.
I mean, you don't live once, so why not just try everything?
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Actually, it's one of those things like, are you really sure? I mean, I was one of those weird people who was always sure that I wanted to be a writer. I wanted to write novels, and I was pretty sure what I wanted to write from the beginning. But, it's interesting because, it makes more sense, honestly, the way you think you just said it. It's like, okay, there's a lot going on out there. There's a lot to do.
It is. So why are you sitting down not doing anything? Is there so many things that you can do? No one is... Like, you don't have to just do one thing. You can do whatever you want, Long as you enjoy it and it's your passion, go for it, And I'm the type that just can't sit still. I have to be doing something. If my thumbs be twirling, I just can't do it. Like, I have to, I don't know, do different things,
Yeah, thumbs aren't for twiddling. They're for other stuff.
I know, right?
They're for doing things, useful stuff. Yeah.
I was about to say that, but I was like, nah, I'm not going to say that.
Oh, well, I jumped right on that one.
Exactly. But you know what? I love everything that I do, and I don't know. I'm going to keep finding things to do, so that's just what it is.
So you say you do stand-up comedy. So what kind of is other stuff you do funny too? Are you oriented toward humor in general, or is it...
I love humor.
Okay.
But my stand-up comedy is adult comedy, but I'm trying to bring it clean. Sometimes it's hard for me because, I'm like, I'm just one of those girls that like adult comedy, and a lot of people like, it'll be better if you're, more commercial, more clean. But I'm trying to be, but I don't think it's going to happen. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, this show has an explicit tag in case you need to say anything explicit or feel the need to. Should have mentioned that in the pre-show, but I'm not that professional.
Right. Well, I was just like, but when I do stand-up comedy, I just say whatever come out my mouth, basically. So you get what you get, and if you laugh at it, okay. And if you don't, then I guess you laugh at the next joke. But
that's funny. It's interesting because when I write fiction, I often kind of resort to just typing the next thing that pops in my head, or when I dictate fiction, it's much like what you just said. I'm talking, I just say the next word, say whatever I'm thinking.
Right, and that's how I write too. Like whatever I think, I just write it, and then I just. It's just, I check it later, but I just write whatever I have in my brain, because sometimes you just got to jot it down really quick because you'll forget. Mm-hmm. So that's the same thing. I do that all the time. So I don't know. Yeah.
No, but that's a very important part of the process. Even it's deceptively simple, though. It's like you just gotta get it down there so you can fool around with it, right? I imagine it's
Yeah,
gonna be
exactly.
similar with a lot of different stuff in a lot of the fields you're in, or whatever you call them, arts.
I
You're
know,
in.
right? I know. You're like whatever you in,
Well,
like
all those I don't know what you call something so general as acting, comedy, writing, and all that stuff together. I mean, well, there's writing involved in a lot of that, but then you throw in acting, and it's a little bit off.
right. It's called serial entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur that does many different things, and everything that I do, I love it though. When I started out this business doing modeling,
Hmm.
right? And I didn't do fashion design modeling, fashion model, and nothing like that. Runway, nothing like that. I started out doing eye candy.
Hmm. Okay.
So
What is
we
that
start.
though? Could you describe that for people?
Oh, you
What
want to
would you
know
call
what
that?
eye
What would you call
candy
that
is?
though? Yeah.
Eye
How would you describe
candy.
it?
Okay, it's tasteful to the eye.
Okay.
Meaning it's not nudity, but at the same time it's tasteful. It's not like swimwear, but a little bit more sexier. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Okay. I get what you're saying.
So right. So it's like that. And I started off doing that,
Mm.
and um when I did that, I got into a lot of publication of magazines and stuff. And, I pursued that for a couple years, probably like 6 or 7 years. And I did that. And then I wanted to try something different. Okay. People see my body. Okay. Whatever. And so now I want to do something different. And, so I went on to different things. And so that's what happened. I mean, I love doing eye candy. I mean, I don't see nothing wrong with it. But,
Yeah. But what did you do? What did you do right after that? What did you go to first after that phase?
well, after that phase, I went to acting because I was
Okay.
like, I want to be an actor. I want to do this. And I did a couple, films for people. And that was great locally. And, I did a couple more, outside of not locally, but, outside the skirts. And then after I did that, I was like, I've been writing for a long time, but I never got it out like I wanted to. So I wrote a book. And the book is erotic. Of course, it's erotic because I am who I am. I am very, who I am. So, well, and it's very like sexual,
Okay. Well, you can't hold
And
stuff back when you write fiction either. Like we were just saying, you can't do it.
I know, I know, and it's very sexual, but it's also like a roller coaster as well, and it's about cheating and manipulating and suspense and love and all this extra stuff is in it. And I did it because I feel like people need to read stuff like this because it's not few women that does erotic books.
Yeah, no, and it's a big genre. If you look for, but a lot of those are very specific, right? Like
Right.
they're in little
Yeah.
niches or whatever. Where
Yeah,
all these little specialized forms of that kind of story, the erotic storytelling.
Yeah, yeah. And I just said whatever I seen, saw, did, whatever. It's in the book. And this is what it is. I mean, you get what you get, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Just like
You
when
know?
I mean, and I don't know. I mean, I just met you here, but I can say now. I mean, having talked to you for just 10 minutes, I'm not really surprised about that you're so especially with your mannerisms, the way you're just like laughing about all of this. This is it's excellent. I mean, I just kind of. It's hard for me to put into words for a second here. Give me 1 second. No, the thing
Yeah.
I'm struggling with here is how much energy you have. I mean, it's not a bad thing. It's actually amazing. And I've been low energy for a lot of my life. I had some sleep problems for, about 10 years,
Right.
maybe longer. And now, and then not to mention other issues, mental problems, whatever. And I feel like I'm coming out of it, but I don't, it's like I don't know what to do with all my energy. And now I'm like, oh yeah, well now there's someone who knows what to do with her energy.
You know what though? Everybody tells me the same thing. Like they say that you have this like super energy. And the reason why I have so much energy is because I don't got time to, regardless of what goes on with me health wise or however, I don't have time to sit here and mope about what's really going on with me.
Hmm.
I have a life to live and that's what I want to do. And I want to stay happy and I want to keep moving and making other people happy and laugh and joke or whatever. Yeah, we have life situations. Things don't go right all the time,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
But it's how you deal with the situations to me. I deal with them differently, maybe from other people, because I look at it as like I am not in control of whatever happens. I just have to keep
Hmm.
moving and figure it out as I go along, you know?
Yeah, you can't turtle up and just stop moving. That's not
Exactly. Why would
that's
you
not an
stop
option.
moving?
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So why would you? Why would you let, and my thing is this too. Why would you let the next person make you upset, get you so upset that you can't function anymore?
Hmm.
You know? And I'm not gonna have let no one to have that control of me for me to get upset about something you done to me or what you did. That's your problem. You did it, so you know what you did. I'm gonna just keep on moving and move you out the way, and I'm gonna just keep on going. I'm
Yeah,
not gonna
yeah.
mope over something that someone did or said or whatever. I don't care. Why should I care? I still got things I gotta do, you know?
Exactly. If you're going through hell, keep going. Winston Churchill.
Exactly. Like what? Like come on. Like what you say to me is not gonna bring me down because I heard worse. Keep it going.
Yeah,
You know?
and you can't get stuck. Yeah, getting stuck's the
Right.
worst. It's a feeling. I mean, I've definitely gotten stuck, but I just admire that. Somebody's not gonna. Yeah, you're not gonna get stuck. You don't. That's just not how you
Mm,
roll, right?
no, that's not how I roll. That's not how I get down. I don't. I don't let other people like control my emotions because they controlling my emotions means that they have control of me, and I'm not that type of person for people to have control over me. You know.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. It's just another impression I've been getting very strongly here.
I'm very strong headed, as they say. You're so strong headed. It's because I'm so focused on other things. I don't got time to worry about things that doesn't matter to me. I mean, I'm not saying that other people doesn't matter to me, but their attitudes and their negativity doesn't matter to me. Now, if you give me positive energy, I'm with you 100%. The
Mm.
universe needs a positive energy. And I'm about that. I'm about positivity. But that negative stuff, go ahead. You can go ahead with that. I don't got time for that.
Yeah, got to throw that out. You can't deal.
Just throw it out. Throw it in the
Yeah, take
trash.
that. Put that somewhere else. Yeah, what are you doing with that?
Exactly. And I wish that, other people think that way, but some people don't, and, that's why we have this world. This world is made of different kinds, right?
Absolutely. I mean, there's always the people who just kind of say you should do the things other people are doing. You should take your
Mm.
time or do a day job and do normal stuff. I mean, do what you have to do to survive, folks, obviously. But you should just not follow your dream. You should wait till you retire to write a book, for example. I've heard that one a lot.
Oh my God, come on now.
Yeah, exactly. That's my feeling too.
Everybody's not a 9 to 5 people though. You know what I mean? Like
Absolutely.
everybody doesn't want to go to a corporate office or go to an office. Some people want to stay home and do what they want to do. They want to write. They want to do whatever they want to do. That's your prerogative. Whatever you choose to make you happy. But do you know that sometimes the people that work from 9 to 5, they're unhappy
Oh, a lot of them are
because they
unhappy.
don't want to go to that job, or they hate the job, or they just want to go to make money. That's fine. But at the same time, I used to work a 9 to 5 and I was miserable. I'm not gonna. I was miserable. I was like, I don't like this.
Yeah,
And
absolutely. Yeah.
yeah, so now I have the freedom to do whatever I want to do, even more. But that 9 to 5, sometimes it holds you back, and you're like, okay, got to get up at 9 o'clock, go to work, and get off at 5, or whatever time you have to go. And then you be like, when you go in, you're like, God, another day.
Hmm.
You
Yeah.
shouldn't be like that. You shouldn't be miserable. And it was miserable for me, you know?
Yeah, people don't have, like you were saying, you don't have time to not do stuff. You don't have time to be miserable either. People don't. People,
Right.
you get the one life, as far as we know, and there's no, yeah, don't waste that time because that's the
Right.
that's the
Don't waste
currency of
that
life.
time.
Yeah.
Right. Don't waste that time that you know that you're going to be miserable. Like for customer service, you can
Mm.
tell they're miserable. right?
Yeah,
like
poor people.
like you
Honestly,
go
it's a bad place to be.
exactly. Exactly. So when you go to them, you're like, they're looking at you, good morning. Can
Hmm.
I help you? And I'm like, let's get some pep in your step. Come on, good morning.
More like,
You know,
how can I help you? Come on.
how can I help you to smile today? And I did that. I did that recently, actually. I walked in and it was good morning. And I'm like, good morning. How are you today? They was like, huh? Like,
Not
what?
expecting
What's wrong with
that.
you? What's wrong with you? Why you so all happy and go lucky? Like, what's going on with you? It is so funny.
It sounds like there's a movie in there somewhere, or like a comedy movie, maybe in early
I
2000s
know, right?
comedy movie.
I
Like
should.
somebody's
I
like,
should.
I'll help you figure out how to be happier. How about that? That's just somebody just walked in randomly, and it's like it's kind of the opposite of a devil's bargain at that point. It's like yeah, I just showed up and helped somebody to be happier or
I know,
whatever.
right?
And then they become buddies or whatever, become friends. It'd be funny.
Exactly. Like, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
but but let me see. I feel like I barely scratched the surface of the stuff you do because you do so much. But other than let me see. I'm trying to go down the list in my head because I wasn't aware of all that stuff. But beforehand, but okay, we got the book, we got the comedy, we got the acting. Okay, actually, maybe we covered just about all the modeling. Okay, we covered the gist of what you do. Okay, so. I gotta get a question though. Do you ever have like trouble switching between those, or do you basically you do them for longer enough periods of time that it's not not a drag on you to switch? Like, because I have trouble switching tasks sometimes, because I do my own cover design for my books and I do my own
Oh wow.
editing
Oh.
and stuff. I mean, editing's different. I'm different field for that, but I do a bunch of stuff related to my books. I do the podcast, and sometimes I have trouble switching between the tasks, the stuff I got to do each day. Do you ever have trouble with stuff like that?
No, I don't actually, because with the modeling thing, if it was a fashion show, someone wanted to take pictures, I set everything. I'm like a perfectionist.
Mm,
I have to log everything down, or what I'm gonna do. But I have specific days that I'm gonna do certain things,
okay.
you know, and I don't put it all together. I just like today I'm doing this, and I write a list down, and tomorrow I'll be doing this. So I keep a list so I can, maintain myself and know what I have to do, or when I have to do it.
No, it makes sense. Yeah, keep organized, right? Yeah.
Yeah, organizes everything, because if you don't, I will be all over the place. But I have to keep organized because I'll be so confused. And right now, my comedy, I don't do as much comedy right now because everything is closed. Really,
Yeah.
like nothing,
Yeah.
everything is about to open back up. But when it was open, I was doing it. But now I'm trying to wait for everything to open because I love the audience. I don't like Zoom. A lot of
Hmm.
people are doing Zoom, and I'm not like that. I like to be interacting with the audience and seeing them laugh, and then afterwards hang out with some of them, so they can buy me drinks.
Get a little extra there, a little bit of a tip there.
Exactly. So, I love interacting with people. That's just who I am. I love talking and BSing with everybody.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, actually, I missed one thing. What's your podcast about? What do you do for your podcast?
Oh, wow. Yeah. My podcast is called Keeping It Real with Caramel, as we say, 100. So,
Nice.
so the podcast is really basically for entrepreneurs to be heard.
Mm,
You know how these entrepreneurs sometimes they want to be, talk about what's really going on, and this is the time for them to, as they say, loosen your tie and put down your hair, and then let's talk about things. Let's talk about what you got going on, and let's talk about other things that's going on. And let's just have this conversation like we're best friends, and we can talk about anything and everything and be heard. Let people know what you're feeling, and let people know that you want to inspire and motivate, or whatever impact, or whatever you want to do. But let's sit down and talk and laugh a little bit, because everybody's so serious. So I
mm.
try to break that seriousness and be like, just have fun with it. And they have had an amazing time. They oh my God, this was great. I needed this.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it sounds a little like. Honestly, I tend to focus more on how, because I talk to a lot of authors on here, a lot of writers, and
Right.
I like to talk about what people do with their writing because I'm kind of obsessed with that. But
Right.
but it's always but I like that attitude, you know, that vibe of just looser. You don't have to go in it. And I'm not going to write down a bunch of questions for people when they come on my show. And
Right.
I'm not going to guide us through a set series of talking points or whatever. That's not my style either. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's not my style. Like I want to first of all know about them, where they're from, and I have a lot of different entrepreneurs, from authors or writers or magicians, comedians. I have
Mm.
all different kind of people that come on my show. And an entrepreneur to me is an entrepreneur. If you got something going on, you better come talk to me, you know? And we just talk about, all different kinds of things, we deep conversations from time that we want to cry to the time that we want to laugh to the time that we want to, just be you and talk about what's going on with you, what happened to you in the past, what happened to you now, where you at now, how you impact other people because you've been through this and been through that.
Yeah, yeah. It's the lives people lead. They're fascinating. They're different from
Right.
they're
Right.
different in all these wild ways. It's kind of hard to pin down sometimes. It was funny. I was just talking. I have a twin brother who lives in Portland, Oregon, and
Oh, wow.
yeah, and I talk to him all the time. And, twins. We're pretty close friends still, even though 2,000 miles away. But
Right.
but he's we today it was weird. We were comparing, like, oh yeah, we're identical twins, but there's so many things different about us, and with other people it's just even more so, right? There's all
Right.
people are just, there's all the variations that you can imagine, basically, and a lot you can't until you meet them.
Right. Right, exactly, because everybody is different and everybody has a different story. Everybody goes through different things as they grew up or what they're going through now. And it's just interesting just to talk to people and just learn things from them. And
Hmm.
I'm just like, this is so amazing. Like, oh my God. Um,
Yeah.
and because when they talk to me, they loosen up a lot and they're just like, you know, hey, I like this interview. Can we do another one? I'm like, okay,
What are some of what are
sure.
some of the your favorite guests you've had on, or just some of the guests you've had on, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh my God. I had a lot. I had a lady named Jenny. I'm gonna tell you, oh my God, this is crazy. Her name is Jennifer. And what happened was me and Jennifer had a wonderful conversation. And she was laughing with me, was joking, and she's with Rockstar Marketing.
Hmm.
And she was looking for a writer, right?
Hmm.
And we was talking and she's like, oh, and at the end of the podcast, she was like, I'm looking for a writer. I'm like, one of my writers got to go and I'm looking for another writer. So I was like, I'm a writer. And she says, oh yeah, you are? Well, I'm gonna contact you after I get off the podcast. She contacted me. Now I'm writing for her.
Oh,
You
that's
know?
so awesome! Yeah, it's the kind of
Right. But she
networking you
does,
get from just talking to people, and
oh my
it's
God.
not even intentional. It's just like you just put yourself forward when the moment comes.
Exactly. She's amazing. She's so amazing. And then I talked to this other guy. His name is Lane Clark, and he is so amazing. And now, when we talked after the broadcast podcast or all this good stuff, he contacts me every day to make sure I'm okay.
Wow.
And it's crazy. Like, and then it's so many other. I can just name. I just can constantly name because
Absolutely,
it's
yeah. I mean, yeah. When you do
yeah,
enough episodes of a podcast and you've got new guests all the time, yeah. No, it's
yeah.
fun. It's a good time.
Yes, and it's so amazing. And then,
A lot of them become
I
friends. It's true. I mean, that's happened a lot to me as well.
exactly. And then I picked up a publicist, do the whole thing, and he works very well with me, and we work well together. And he pushes me out to all different kinds of podcasts and all different kind of things. And Mickey is wonderful,
Yeah.
and I'm like blessed to have him. Like for real, like I would never thought that I would have him because I was like, I didn't know I needed a publicist. You know what I'm saying? I was like, do I need a publicist? But then when we talked and he was like, we can work some things out. And I'm like, wow, I got me a publicist. So it made me really super happy because he's super awesome, and I'm just blessed to have him,
Yeah.
in my
No,
life.
he actually suggested I start this show years ago now. He
Oh,
was the one that got me
wow.
started on this podcast. I did a different podcast before, but and I don't know, maybe that'll come back eventually. But anyway, yeah, it was his idea. He's like, yeah, you want to talk to people, talk to other writers? You seem like you'd be good at it. Turns out, I kind of am. Maybe.
Right, you're doing good. That's awesome because, like I said, you never know until you try something, right?
Yeah.
So if you don't try it, how will you know if you're gonna be good at it?
Exactly. I mean, like, I would never have been able to do this talk show without the help from Creative Edge and Mickey, actually, in particular, because there's just so many people. I mean, I talked to a lot of his clients. It's great. He's got a lot of great people under his roof. But anyway, yeah, people should definitely go check. I mean, you can, for a catalog of a lot of his authorial clients, you can just look at my old guest list. Honestly, I've talked to a lot of them. But yeah, he had a lot of clients of different levels too, and it's nice.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does. And I interview some of them already, and that's how we met because he came to my podcast, and we met that way. And I still interview a lot of the authors and stuff on his platform. So that is awesome too, to get to know everybody,
Yeah, it's small world kind of, especially when you got a few people to tie it together, right?
Yeah. It's great.
Those key people in the right places.
Exactly. It's all great, you just have to. It's like you said, it's a small world and everybody's in that same world. So we just go to network and communicate and do what we do.
Yeah. And there's something special about just being able to talk to somebody, and then, I mean, it gives you a different apprehension than just, say, writing an email or cold calling somebody or any of that stuff. It's just having a conversation. It's way better than being, I mean, and that's one of those things that they always talked about, because I wanted to be traditionally published for a while, with the big publishers. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I kind of stopped. I didn't want that anymore a few years ago, so I gave up on it, But anyway, and I independently published. But they're always talking about how, it's at the bar, at the convention bar, at these science fiction fantasy conventions. That's where the deals get made a lot of the time, Like, there's some of the biggest authors in the world. Like, oh yeah, I chatted with this guy, then chatted with an editor. Now I'm a best-selling author. That kind of thing. That's how it used to go for so many people, and it still does for some. But it's one of those weird, like, I don't know. I didn't think I would ever be good at that. Now I feel like I'm getting better at that kind of thing. But whatever.
But yeah, I mean, you probably are because you're practicing. You're building up your craft of what you're doing. So that's amazing that you're getting better at what you do.
Absolutely. I specifically talking to people. I didn't expect I would because I'm autistic. I got the Asperger's syndrome. I had a really tough time talking to people when I was younger.
Well, I did too, but your voice is amazing on air. I can hear your voice. So, I mean, I was really, really shy. I was like skinny with some big glasses, long hair, and I didn't talk to anybody. I was one of those skinny, long hair, big Popeye glasses on. And I was really shy. I didn't really want to talk to people because I was like, no. And then I didn't even want to talk in class when the teacher asked me questions. I didn't want to raise my hand. I didn't know I was like, I knew the answer, but I just didn't want to say it out loud,
Right. Yeah.
But now you can't stop me for talking.
It seems like we actually had a kind of similar journey. I mean, I always like to talk, but to some degree, I was just afraid of I just didn't know what to say to people. I'd always mess up, and I was Anyway, it's it's amazing how much things change.
Exactly. Now people look at me like, we can't keep you to shut up. Like, I keep talking and talking and talking. They're like, oh my gosh, she won't shut up. Like, I love talking. And maybe the reason why I love talking so much is because I didn't talk, and now I have so much to say,
Yeah, it's new. It's kind of new to you, to some extent. I mean, not new, but it's newer than it is for people who are talking all along, talking more.
Exactly. I became the class clown and all this stuff, so I was like, okay, I'm good now.
Yeah. Well, Caramel Lucas, it's been great having you on the podcast. So
thank you so much.
It's been a lot of fun. So, where can people find your work and your book, and where should people look for your other stuff online?
Well, you can go to my website. It's www.caramel caramel Lucas lucas.net. You can find me on Instagram at Caramel Lucas, and you can find me on LinkedIn at Caramel Lucas. You can find me on Twitter at Miss MS __ Caramel Caramel, and you can find me on Facebook at Caramel Lucas. And you can find my book, In Love with the Other Man, on Author House, Amazon, Books and Noble, Walmart, anywhere. Just Google it. You can find it.
Badass. Wonderful. And thanks again for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
And as for this podcast, you can find us at mentalcellarpublications.com. That's cellar with a C, mental cellar, as in a basement, publications.com. And you can find my books on Amazon.com. You can also get my print books anywhere you can find print books online, print-on-demand books. So Barnes & Noble, all those good places. And I just had some new ones come out. So some new paperbacks come out. So yeah, I got a bundle of them. You just look up my Amazon page. And yeah, thanks for listening, folks. Talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.